If you're in your 20s and you think you're making smart money decisions, this video might shock you. I'm about to reveal 5 money traps that are specifically designed to catch people in their 20s. And the scary part is, most people don't realize they've fallen into them until it's too late. These aren't the obvious ones like credit card debt or student loans. These are the sneaky traps that look like good decisions on the surface, but are quietly destroying your financial future. I learned about these the hard way, and I've watched countless friends fall into every single one. My name is Your Name, from Budget and Beyond. And after my last video about money traps got over 900 views, you asked for more. So today, I'm diving deeper into the traps that specifically target 20-somethings, because let us be honest, the financial advice industry knows exactly how to exploit our psychology. By the end of this video, you'll know how to spot these traps before they catch you, and more importantly, how to escape if you're already stuck. Let's jump right in. Before I reveal these 5 traps, you need to understand why people in their 20s are such easy targets for financial manipulation. It's not because we stupid. It's because we in a unique psychological and financial position that makes us vulnerable. First, we have what psychologists call optimism bias. We believe our income will keep going up, that we'll get promoted faster than average, and that we have plenty of time to fix any financial mistakes. This makes us more likely to take on debt and less likely to save aggressively. Second, we're experiencing lifestyle inflation for the first time. Going from college ramen budgets to real paychecks feels like we're rich even when we're barely scraping by. This creates a dangerous disconnect between how much money we think we have and how much we actually have. Third, we're bombarded with social media showing everyone else living their best life. We see friends traveling, buying new cars, living in nice apartments, and we think we should be doing the same. What we don't see are their credit card balances, their parents helping with rent, or their complete lack of savings. Fourth, we're at peak FOMO age. Everything feels urgent. The concert we have to go to, the trip we have to take, the experience we can't miss. This emotional spending destroys budgets faster than any other factor. Finally, we have just enough financial knowledge to be dangerous. We understand basics like credit scores and 401 kiloseconds, but we do understand the subtle ways the financial system is designed to extract money from us over decades. These psychological factors create the perfect storm for financial predators. They know exactly how to package bad financial decisions to look like smart ones, specifically for our age group. The first trap is one that sounds like responsible advice. You need to build your credit in your 20s. Here's why this conventional wisdom is actually a trap that keeps you poor. The credit-building industry has convinced an entire generation that having a high credit score is some kind of financial achievement. They've made credit scores feel like a video game where higher numbers mean you're winning. But here's what they do and tell you. A credit score only measures one thing: how profitable you are to lenders. Let me break down how this trap actually works. You're told to get a credit card to build credit, so you get one, and because you're responsible, you pay it off every month. Then you're told you need multiple types of credit, so you get a car loan. Then you're told you need a longer credit history, so you keep accounts open even when you don't need them. Before you know it, you have 4 credit cards, a car payment, and maybe a personal loan for that emergency expense. You're making all the minimum payments on time, so your credit score is great. But here's the trap. You're now psychologically comfortable with debt. The real trap isn't the interest rates. It's the normalization of owing money. When you spend years building credit, you're actually training yourself to think debt is normal and manageable. This makes you a perfect customer for the biggest purchases of your life. A house, a newer car, maybe graduate school. Here's the truth they do and want you to know. You can live an amazing life with a mediocre credit score. The difference between a 750 credit score and a 650 credit score might cost you an extra $50 per month on a mortgage. But the difference between having debt and being debt-free could save you hundreds or thousands per month. I'm not saying never use credit. I'm saying the obsession with building credit in your 20s is often a trap that gets you comfortable with debt, right when you should be building wealth. The escape plan. If you must have a credit card, get one with no annual fee. Use it for one small recurring expense like Netflix, and set it to auto-pay the full balance every month. Don't get multiple cards. Don't get a car loan just for credit. And definitely do want take on debt you do want need just to diversify your credit mix. The second trap is probably the most dangerous for our generation, because it disguises itself as personal growth and life optimization. It's called the experience economy trap, and it's the idea that spending money on experiences is always better than spending money on things. You've heard this advice everywhere: don't buy stuff, buy experiences. Experiences create memories, stuff just creates clutter. This sounds wise, and there's some truth to it. But the way it's being marketed to 20-somethings is financially destructive. Here's how the trap works. Companies have figured out that our generation values experiences over possessions, so they've made everything an experience. That $200 concert isn't just music, it's an experience. That $150 brunch isn't just food, it's an experience. That $300 weekend trip isn't just travel, it's an experience that will change your life. The experience economy has convinced us that saying no to experiences is saying no to living. They've made frugality seem boring and antisocial. They've made spending on experiences feel like investing in yourself. But here's what they do and tell you. Experiences can be just as wasteful as buying junk you do and need. Spending $2,000 on a weekend music festival might create memories, but it also creates a $2,000 hole in your budget that could have been invested for your future. The really insidious part is how experiences create their own addiction cycle. Unlike buying a TV that you own forever, experiences are consumed and gone. This creates a constant need to spend money to maintain your lifestyle and social connections. I've watched friends spend $30,000 per year on experiences, concerts, trips, restaurants, activities, while living paycheck to paycheck and having zero savings. When I suggest they might want to cut back, they look at me like I'm suggesting they stop living. The trap gets worse because experiences are often social. When your friend group's idea of fun involves spending $100 to $300 every weekend, saying no means social isolation, the FOMO becomes financial FOMO, and you end up spending money you don't have to maintain relationships. Here's the escape plan. Experiences aren't inherently good or bad. It's about intentionality and balance. Create an experience budget that's a fixed amount you can spend without guilt, and stick to it. Learn to find free and cheap experiences that create just as many memories. Most importantly, don't let anyone make you feel like you are not living if you choose to save money instead of spending it on experiences. The third trap might surprise you because it's about something that is supposed to help your finances: the side hustle obsession. Don't get me wrong, side hustles can be great. But the way they're being marketed to 20-somethings often creates more financial problems than they solve. Here's how this trap works. You're told that having multiple income streams is the key to financial security. So you start a side hustle. Maybe it's freelancing, dropshipping, affiliate marketing, or selling stuff online. You spend hours setting it up, learning the skills, and trying to make it work. The trap is threefold. First, most side hustles make very little money relative to the time invested, especially in the beginning. You might spend 20 hours per week to make an extra $200 per month. That's $2.50 per hour, way below minimum wage. Second, side hustles often require upfront investment. You need a computer, software, inventory, marketing budget, or training courses. These costs eat into your profits, and sometimes you never break even. Third, and this is the biggest trap, side hustles distract you from growing your main income source. While you're spending 20 hours per week trying to make $200 from your side hustle, could have spent those 20 hours learning skills that would get you a $5,000 raise at your day job. Psychological trap is even worse. Side hustles make you feel like you're taking control of your finances, but they often become a way to avoid dealing with the real problem: that your main income isn't enough to support your lifestyle. I've seen people work themselves into exhaustion with 3 different side hustles. It's making an extra $500 per month while completely burning out and neglecting their career development. Meanwhile, their coworker who focused on getting better at their day job got promoted and now makes $1,000 more per month with less stress. The social media aspect makes this trap worse because everyone's showing their side hustle wins, but not their failures. Here's the escape plan. Before starting any side hustle, calculate the true hourly rate, including all time and expenses. Compare that to what you could make by focusing on career growth. If the side hustle pays less than $15 to $20 per hour after expenses, It's probably not worth it unless you genuinely enjoy it as a hobby. Focus on side hustles that build skills you can use in your career or that have potential for passive income. Avoid anything that requires constant active work for low pay. The fourth trap happens right when you think you're making it financially. It's the lifestyle inflation graduation trap. This is when you get your first real job or a significant raise, and you immediately upgrade your entire lifestyle to match your new income. Here's how it typically unfolds. You graduate college and get a job making $50,000 per year. Compared to living on $200 per week in college, this feels like unlimited money. So you immediately upgrade. You get your own apartment instead of roommates. You buy a reliable car instead of driving that college beater. You start eating out regularly instead of cooking ramen. Within 6 months, you're spending almost every penny of your new salary. Then you get a raise to $60,000, and instead of saving the extra $10,000, you upgrade again. Better apartment, newer car, more expensive hobbies. This cycle continues throughout your 20s, and you end up making $80,000 per year but still living paycheck to paycheck. The trap is psychological. Each upgrade feels justified because you can afford it with your current income. But you, re-robbing your future self by not saving and investing during the years when you have the most time for compound growth? Here's what makes this trap especially dangerous for 20-somethings. This is often the first time in your life when you have significant income without anyone telling you how to spend it. Parents aren't monitoring your spending, you don't have the structure of college expenses, and you feel like you deserve to enjoy the money you're working hard for. The lifestyle inflation trap is also fueled by social comparison. Your coworkers have nice cars and nice apartments, so you feel like you should too. You do want to realize that many of them are in debt or getting help from family to maintain their lifestyles. I fell into this trap hard. When I got my first job making $45,000, I thought I was rich. I moved into a $1,200 a month apartment, bought a $25,000 car, and started spending $400 a month on restaurants and entertainment. I was saving almost nothing while telling myself I was being responsible because I was paying my bills on time. It took me 3 years to realize that despite making decent money, I had almost no net worth because every raise just led to more spending. I was stuck in what I call the lifestyle inflation hamster wheel, making more money but never getting ahead financially. Here's the escape plan. When you get a raise or new job, immediately automate savings for at least 50% of the increase before you have time to inflate your lifestyle. If you get a $10,000 raise, automatically invest $5,000 of it before you even see the money. Practice lifestyle lag. Keep living like you make your old salary for at least 6 to 12 months after any income increase. This gives you time to adjust psychologically and ensure the raise is permanent before upgrading your lifestyle. The fifth and final trap is one that's become epidemic in the social media age. Investment FOMO. This is when the fear of missing out on investment gains leads you to make terrible financial decisions that can destroy decades of wealth building. Here's how this trap works in your 20s. You see friends or influencers talking about their crypto gains, their meme stock wins, or their real estate investments. You hear stories about people who made millions from Bitcoin or GameStop or some new IPO. You start feeling like you're missing out on easy money while your boring investments grow slowly. The trap kicks in when you abandon your long-term investment strategy to chase these higher return opportunities. You take money out of your 401k to buy cryptocurrency. You use your emergency fund to invest in individual stocks. You take on debt to invest in whatever's trending on Reddit or TikTok. The psychological component is brutal because 20-somethings feel like we have less time than we actually do. We see older people who are wealthy and think, I need to catch up fast. This creates desperation that leads to terrible investment decisions. Social media makes this trap worse because you only see the wins, never the losses. For every person posting about their crypto gains, there are 10 people who lost money and aren't posting about it. The survivorship bias makes risky investments seem safer and more profitable than they actually are. I've watched friends lose thousands of dollars chasing investment trends. One friend put his entire $15,000 savings into a single cryptocurrency because he was convinced it would 10x. It dropped 80%, and he lost almost everything. Another friend kept buying more and more speculative stocks, convinced she could time the market, and ended up with less money than if she'd just put it in an index fund. The opportunity cost is huge. While you're losing money on speculative investments, you're missing out on the guaranteed compound growth of boring, diversified investing. 20 years from now? The person who consistently invested in index funds will likely have more wealth than the person who tried to get rich quick. Here's what makes this trap especially dangerous. Some people do get lucky with speculative investments, which reinforces the behavior. If you make money on a risky bet, you think you're good at it and make bigger bets. Usually, the market eventually takes back those gains and more. The escape plan. Separate your long-term wealth building from your speculation. If you want to take risks with investments, limit it to money you can afford to lose completely. Maybe 5 to 10% of your total investments. Never use money you need for emergencies or long-term goals to chase high-risk, higher-reward opportunities. Focus on boring, consistent investing for 90% of your money. Index funds, target date funds, and diversified ETFs might not be exciting, but they're proven wealth builders over decades. Now that you understand all 5 traps, let me show you the real cost of falling into them. It's not just the immediate money you lose. It's the compound effect over decades that makes these traps so financially devastating. Let's imagine two 25-year-olds, Sarah and Mike. They both make $60,000 per year, but Sarah avoids these traps while Mike falls into all of them. Sarah keeps her credit utilization low, avoiding the debt normalization trap. Mike has $15,000 in various debts from building credit. The interest costs him $2,000 per year. Sarah budgets $300 per month for experiences and sticks to it. Mike spends $800 per month on experiences because of FOMO. That's $500 more per month, or $6,000 per year. Sarah focuses on her career growth instead of side hustles. Sarah avoided lifestyle inflation when she got raises. She lives on $45,000 and invests $15,000 per year after her promotion. Mike inflated his lifestyle to match his income and saves almost nothing. Sarah invests consistently in index funds. Mike loses $5,000 per year chasing investment trends and hot stocks. Here's the math. Sarah invests $15,000 per year starting at age 25. Mike effectively has negative savings due to debt payments, overspending, and investment losses. After 40 years at age 65, Sarah's investments, over $6.5 million. Mike's net worth, maybe $100,000 if he's lucky. That's not a typo. These seemingly small differences compound into millions of dollars over a lifetime. The traps don't just cost you money today. They cost you decades of compound growth. But here's the good news. You can escape these traps at any time. And the earlier you do it, the more time you have for compound growth to work in your favor. Now let me give you a concrete action plan to avoid or escape each of these traps, starting immediately, escaping the credit building trap. If you have credit cards, keep only one with no annual fee. Use it for one small recurring expense and auto-pay the full balance. Don't take on debt just to build credit. Focus on building wealth, not credit scores. Escaping the experience economy trap, set a monthly experience budget and stick to it religiously. Find free and cheap alternatives for expensive experiences. Don't let social pressure force you to overspend. Remember that saying no to expensive experiences means saying yes to financial freedom, escaping the side hustle obsession trap. Calculate the true hourly rate of any side hustle, including all time and expenses. Focus on career growth instead of low-paying side work if you do side hustles. Choose ones that build career skills or create passive income. Don't sacrifice sleep, relationships, or career advancement for small side income, escaping the lifestyle inflation trap. Automate savings for 50% of any raise before you see the money. Practice lifestyle lag. Don't upgrade immediately when income increases. Track your spending to catch lifestyle inflation early. Remember that every dollar spent on lifestyle inflation is a dollar not invested for your future, escaping the investment FOMO trap. Limit speculation to 5 to 10% of your total investments. Focus on boring, diversified investing for long-term wealth. Unfollow social media accounts that promote get-rich-quick schemes. Remember that slow and steady wins the wealth-building race. The key to avoiding all these traps is having a clear financial plan and sticking to it regardless of social pressure, FOMO, or emotional spending urges. Instead of falling into these traps, here's what wealth building actually looks like in your 20s. It's not glamorous, it's not Instagram-worthy, but it works. Phase 1. Foundation ages 22-24. Build a $1,000 emergency fund. Avoid debt except for essential items like reliable transportation. Focus on increasing your income through skills and career development. Live with roommates? Cook at home? You can't keep expenses low? Start investing even small amounts consistently. Phase 2. Acceleration ages 25-29. Build emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Maximize employer 401k matching. Invest 15 to 20% of income in diversified index funds. Avoid lifestyle inflation when income increases. Consider house hacking or other strategic real estate moves. The boring truth is that wealth building in your 20s is mostly about avoiding mistakes, not making brilliant investment moves. The people who get rich in their 20s usually do it by earning good income, keeping expenses low, investing consistently, avoiding debt, not losing money on speculation. It's not exciting, but it's effective. The excitement comes later when compound interest starts creating serious wealth. Here's your specific action plan to implement everything we've discussed. This week, audit your current situation. Which traps have you fallen into? Calculate how much these traps are costing you per month. Cancel or reduce one major expense that falls into these trap categories. Open an investment account if you don't have one this month. Create a budget that limits experience spending to a fixed amount. Automate investing so you pay yourself first. Set up systems to avoid lifestyle inflation. Separate accounts. Automatic transfers. Unsubscribe from financial FOMO content on social media next 6 months. Focus on growing your primary income instead of chasing side hustles. Build your emergency fund to at least $1,000. Pay off any high-interest debt from the credit-building trap. Establish consistent investing habits with boring, diversified funds next 12 months. Track your net worth monthly to see progress. Increase your savings rate as your income grows. Resist lifestyle inflation when you get raises. Celebrate small wins in wealth building to stay motivated. Remember, avoiding these traps isn't about living like a monk. It's about being intentional with your money so you can have the life you want, both now and in the future. Your 20s are the most important decade for building wealth. Not because you'll get rich in your 20s, but because the habits and decisions you make now will determine your financial future for the next 40+ years. These 5 money traps: the credit building scam, the experience economy trap, the side hustle obsession, lifestyle inflation, and investment FOMO, are designed to keep you broke and stressed about money. They work because they appeal to your psychology and your desire to fit in socially. But now you know better. You understand how these traps work and how to avoid them. More importantly, you know that building real wealth requires patience, consistency, and the courage to make different choices than your peers. The people who get wealthy in their 20s do it by falling for get-rich-quick schemes or keeping up with social media lifestyles. They do it by avoiding these traps, living below their means, and investing consistently in boring assets that compound over decades. Here, it's my challenge for you. Pick one trap that you've fallen into and take action to escape it this week. Don't try to fix everything at once. Just pick one and make progress. If this video helped you identify financial traps you didn't know you were in, smash that like button and subscribe to Budget and Beyond for more real talk about money that nobody else will tell you. Drop a comment below and tell me which trap hit closest to home for you. I read every comment, and I'm here to help you build real wealth, not just look wealthy on social media. Remember, save smart, invest smarter, live better. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today.